Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Beaky with the Elder Scrolls Legend Central, and as you know, I love getting challenged by the community, and we had a little question coming right here from Jackie. Jackie asked me this, I don't know if you've done it before, but I was wondering if you could come up with a deck built around undead and spiritual theme. So a spirit undead, I'm like, I really haven't done that specifically, a deck completely themed around that. I've done decks themed about like the Grim Champion, when other creatures die he gets powered up, but specifically all around the whole thing, undead, vampires, spirits, well, not really. So I said, you know what, let me go ahead and reply. I'm gonna take a little moment and, well, put something together. And this is Monday right now. Let's see what I actually came up with. Let's take a look, guys. Now I'm gonna start off the bat. I am missing a lot of cards when it comes to undead creatures. I only have one Bone Colossus. I don't have Skeleton Dragon. I'm missing a lot of cards of 3 copies. So this is just what I came up with really quickly to put something together. And I'm going to show you guys this deck in rank and casual gameplay just to see what happened. Because I know I'm missing stuff, and you guys definitely, I'm so sure you guys will be able to prove on me. Anybody out there who has 100% of the collection and has 3 copies of every card, they're going to be able to make something better than me. But I only could work with the cards I had, and I don't have every card in the game, and definitely don't have 3 copies of it all. So this is the best I could do, and I'll just take a look at it real quick, go over it before we get into some gameplay, which you guys are about to see right over here. That will be ranked gameplay off this deck. So real quick, let's just talk about why I made it the way I did, just for what I had. So we have the deadlies over here for early game lethals. And we have these ones right over here that summon another one. They all combo well with Grim. Grim, if he's on the field and the creatures die, he's going to get powered up. Spy Masters there, plain and simple, because I just wanted to play off the undead theme or dying theme, because this creature dies and summons another creature, so you're getting value from a creature having to go away, and that kind of feeling plays into the undead theme, even though it's not really a undead creature itself or spiritual creature itself. It's a dark elf, but dark is kind of in the way. The, Sorcerer's Negotiation, I thought this is a really cool card, and it fits in there really well. Soul Split, I mean, it's splitting the soul, basically sacrificing creatures. I felt like that felt really well in there. Soul Tier, bringing a creature from the dead, the graveyard, back to life. Your discard pile, really. If it was Yu-Gi-Oh, it would be called your graveyard. Dark Guardian is a skeleton. It really combos well with something like Bone Colossus, which you guys will see in the ranked gameplay we're going to see in a few seconds. Haunting Spirit, once again, a creature that dies but yet gives an effect to another creature, fits in the undead theme. So that's what I was thinking there. Necromancer Armament, it kind of makes sense because of the plain simple fact the creatures are going to be dying anyways. You might as well get some health back from it, and necromancy is part of the whole entire undead spiritual thing, I was thinking. Corsair Ship obviously doesn't play into the undead as much, except for the fact that it really does help power up some of these creatures as they get summoned out, especially with stuff like Bone Colossus. When you put that out, all those skeletons are going to get powered up. Same thing with this card right here. The Ghost, come on, this is a Dragon Cult Ghost. It gets powered up like all your magic steals it, and it's a ghost. I mean, if it's not a spiritual creature, what is? Cursed Spectre, it's a specter, it's a ghost, and it does silence. It's really been useful. And he's Imperial, but he brings things from the dead. So he's basically a gravedigger. So, like, I was like, yeah, let's throw that in there. And, of course, we do have, a real gravedigger over here. He summons somebody from the graveyard every single turn, and they get charged. I just thought it would be kind of cool to combo that with a vampire, Nightdown Lord. I've had this combo actually work once before. We're just trying it out. It's a fun-ass combo, but it's not something you would really want to do in, like, a predict is going to always happen. So this is a really hard pick, and if I had all the cards I want, I would actually let this deck be a freaking 7, not go higher than 7 Magicka. I would really take out all these 3, but I don't have 3 Bone Colossus anyway, so I said, just for fun, let me add these 3 cards in here instead of having 3 Bone Colossus, because I just don't have 3, and I don't have no soul gems to summon 3 Bone Colossus. Let's move on from there. Grim Champion, I already talked about, everybody dying around them. So same thing in combos with Little Girl, because so many people are going to be trying to kill Little Girl once they see it. If Grim Champion's on the field, Little Girl gets killed. At least Grim Champion's going to get powered back up, and we got Soul Tier to bring back Little Girl on the field. Relentless Templar, we're going to need some health gain, because early game we don't have really that much way of really doing much damage. As you guys will clearly see, this is not a very damage heavy deck. The Corsair Ship was one of the few ways I was thinking about giving these creatures some way of getting some little damage off, until later game when you have Bone Colossus powering up some of those skeletons. Or if you get like Nighttime Lord combo with here, that's how I really saw this. And Dragon Priestess is a skeleton, so I just said, you know what, if I could have it happen, get Dragon Priest powered up from Bone Colossus, it'd be kind of fun. I know I only have one, but I said whatever. I work with the cards I have. I've not gotten to the point that I can have every card in the game yet. If you guys want to help me get all that, donate. There's a donation link in the description. Support the channel, support the streams. Now, with all talking about the deck, let's actually show you guys some gameplay of what the deck could actually do itself. And enough talking about that right there. So let me mute the gameplay audio and go into the match. Alright guys, here we go. Alright, so actually we'll let's go back real quick. This is a casual match. Sorry about that. Here we are. Let's see how this one worked. Now, obviously, like I said already, guys, I don't have everything. I only can work with what I have. So I'll use what I got. I'll make the best of it. Now, off the bat, my first three cards were Lightning Bolt, Night Shadow, and Night Talon Lord. I just love that name, Night Talon Lord. Like, it just sounds really kick-ass. Like, this really sounds good. Haunted Spirit, Lightning Bolt, and Mr. Gravedigger over there, that's what I like to call him, are not going to really be able to help me much. I mean, like, this is one of those times I'm like, you know what, we're not going to be doing all that great if this is the cards I'm going to start out with, but let's just go with the match anyways and see where it takes us. Now, just to save people some time, I will try to actually just skip ahead in the match anytime my opponent takes too long to make their move, just to speed things along because this is a video. If you guys actually want to see me use this deck in actual gameplay, later on today when I do my live stream for Legends, I will be playing with this deck as well as another deck I made because of White Bear. If you guys don't know White Bear 84, I think he's on Twitter. He put together a few different decks, and sometimes he puts them on Legends as decks, and they're pretty funny. He shares them with me, so sometimes I want to shout him out. So White Bear, if you're watching this, I'm going to check out that deck that you put together with Scout and High Hoggroth, and I want to check that out later today. So definitely going to be doing some more community showcase of stuff that you guys come up with. And definitely keep asking me to make decks. Like the reason I didn't make a spiritual undead deck like this is because I knew I was missing cards. I knew I was. I definitely knew. So off the bat, my hand doesn't look that great. You can clearly see that. It's not the best looking hand ever, but I was thinking like maybe I'll be kind of lucky because a lot of people don't play decks like this these days, in a sense, you know. With the current meta, with all the Heroes of Skyrim cards, a lot of the cards are either based around beating Commander, beating Echo, and really rush to the face and countering that strategy, or using Commander, using Echo for your advantage. And that's what's really on the ladder right now. So if you play something outside of that, it just might throw people off their thing. Oh man, somebody had to call me right down in the middle of this video. Hello? Sorry for that instant little cut right there, but a little quick little family emergency. I just fixed the problem. Let's get back into what we were doing. So apologize, but life happens. Alright guys, let's start back up. This is why I do a lot of these videos pre-recorded, because I know I have my family to take care of, and I usually just play differently when I'm on live stream. When I'm on live stream, it works out a lot better, but when I'm doing YouTube videos, I like having to be able to pause everything. So let's just talk about the matchup. Back on to the important stuff of this crazy, I know not the greatest deck, but Jackie's Grim Champions. We will make our best out of the situation. So right there we have the ship down. The ship is going to give all these creatures that get killed some items. We're going to put that in the right lane. We're going to keep the right lane pretty full. The reason for this is I was thinking if I get Necromancer's Amulet, at least I'm going to be getting some value out of these creatures dying. And I didn't want to play into the right-left lane with all these crazy guards. Now, I was so surprised that he used Shadow Priestess on Haunted Spirit instead of using Shadow Priestess on the Corsair ship. I think the Corsair ship was a more dangerous item on the field at the moment, especially seeing as the fact that I have two skeleton creatures that are going to make a copy of themselves when they die. And now I just go here, Shadow Priestess gets silenced, then I'm going to use to the face right there for 1 damage. Then we're going to go ahead and sacrifice myself to call back Haunted Spirit. And then it's like nothing was really lost. It went over into the left lane, so be it, that's fine anyways. So then we could go on from there. Now, if you guys clearly could see, I have Bone Colossus in my hand, and I have all these skeleton creatures. Now, I was really thinking about, like, maybe next turn I should play out Bone Colossus, but I was like, probably is not really the best time to do this, just because of the fact that if I put it out instantly and then we can get killed because of the lethals. I didn't want to get killed by lethals, so I was thinking about it. I was like, this can't be the right move right now, and I don't, like I said, I only have one Bold Colossus, so I hardly have enough chance to ever really play with it outside of like arena, solo, or when I'm playing versus arena. That's really the only time I have a big chance of trying out Bone Colossus. Sooner or later, I'm gonna have to soul summon, like, 3 copies of it, but there's so many epic cards in the game so far because of Heroes Skyrim and the Fall of the Dark Brotherhood that there's a lot of things that I actually want to make decks with as well. And as you guys see, especially in my streams, I will summon stuff that you guys want me to summon just to make a deck to have fun with that. So let's see what's going to happen here. As you can see, what my plan was on the left lane, kill the lethal creature, then throw out Bone Colossus and power up these skeleton creatures that are on the field. And I was so happy we saw this right here, Gaming Magicka. So I was like, okay, maybe he's going for Outhaven, or maybe he's trying to get powered enough to do something else. But I was like, I just didn't expect him to go ahead to gain Magicka. I would have thought I was going to see a guard right there. Now, I lucked out right here with the lightning bolt, and I said going face was 100% the right move. Because I felt going to face right here, even if he gets a prophecy creature or anything, I still got Dark Guardian out. With Dark Guardian, I get a free card that gives me more options than keeping cards in my hand. And keeping cards in my hand is a good move for me. So it does hurt that he gets a card like that off the bat, but still, I think in my sense, keeping these cards in my hand did really work out. Now I got Night Talon Lord in my hand, which like I said, it's only in there because I don't have 3 Bone Colossus. This is not the type of deck which really going to take too much advantage of this card. There's a lot of other cards out there, a lot of the decks that either increase your Magicka enough to you can play it, or could reduce the cost down to the fact that it's an easier card to summon. So that's the normal way I would play something like Night Talon Lord in my deck. But I wanted to throw it in there just because it fit in the theme of the deck, and it's all about the theme for this one, guys. So here we go, and we go to face. He gets another prophecy, gives us another card. This is why Dark Guardian is one of my favorite cards. It's like it's just a card that really works out so well. And we got Sorcerer's Negotiation, which I just think is a really cool looking effect on that card. Like, it just looks badass. Just to keep it simple right there, guys. It looks really cool. So at this point, I was pretty confident I was going to win the match.
Look to the skies.
So at that point, playing dragons. Dove with the voice, one of the weaker dragons out there, so I wasn't too worried. Its effect only lasts grass, and I have enough damage on the field for lethal, so he just wanted to do that, I guess for the heck of it, and got his turn with a bang. Don't blame him. We're going to go right over here for the 6, and then we're going to go over there for the 3. Obviously, I could have played better, but I had lightning bolt, so I was pretty confident I was going to win right there. So there you go, guys. That was the first match right there with Grimm's champion, and we're gonna go into another match. Now this other match right here, guys, I literally felt bad about it. I straight up wrote it. The title of the video is like, I won, but it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good because I realized that my opponent was playing with the Forgotten Hero title. And as you know, guys, my method on testing decks is normally I go into casual, then I go into rank. I test things in casual, and this was part of my test, and I just happened to run into somebody who was more newer to the game. As you guys will see, some of his cards were not leveled up, and this match just kind of went, let's just say he forfeited in the end. But if you guys want to see what happened, let's just go ahead and check out the match and see how it flows out. Alright, so once again, we're going to be placing up Necromancer's Almond right here. Get some value for my creatures dying. Try to get back some health. I was figuring that my opponent's going to probably be going really to face, especially when I was early game, when I first started playing. I was more to a face player just because of the fact that I just did not have enough cards for the long game. Sometimes it just really wasn't working out for some of those epic cards that lasted a little longer. So I was like, you know what, let me just keep punching face and just go with that. And because my opponent I was thinking my opponent was going to go face, I was like, you know what, I should probably focus on regenerating my health. Obviously, I could have had the 6-cost Necromancer card. I forgot what it's called, that summons a creature back from the graveyard. I need to remember that card's name, but you guys know what it is. 6 costs. If you have more health than your opponent on your 6th turn or after that, it summons a creature from your graveyard. I just said, nah, Not going to be what I'm using in this deck right now. I can't guarantee on turn 6 that I'm going to have more health than my opponent, and on turn 6 I might want to do something else other than getting a creature back from the graveyard that way. And Night Shadow is a pretty cool card to play in your 6th turn anyways, if you have that as an option. So I'm just keeping my health up at this point right now, just trying to save off from anything crazy. Then I saw this happen. I was like, oh, this is not good. You know, if he's playing with beast monsters, I'm just going to have to start taking care of these creatures as soon as possible. So my strategy definitely had to be like defensive right there. There's no way I could play offensive. I'm looking at my graveyard or my discard pile, just make sure that I'm prepared for in case of anything. So what I was expecting my opponent to do, which you guys could expect as well, is for Firebolt. That's just what you expect to see in a situation like this. Is a Firebolt into taking out my lethal creature on the right lane, and if that happened, it would kind of suck. But if, in case of anything, I still had the Relentless Templar, I still had Dragon Cult, I still had enough health at this point that I was like, okay, I'm fairly okay. Even if he attacks for 4, I'll be fine. But then what my opponent's about to do right now had me like real nervous. I was like, oh shit, 2 Whiterun Protectors out. Next turn, that's kind of a problem. But I kind of lucked out with the deck. Got Soul Split, which fits in the undead spiritual kind of theme. So I just figured the best move right here would just make sure that I have enough health that even if both of those protectors attack, that I'm gonna be able he's not gonna be able to break a rune and have those activate, and then I have to deal with regenerated creatures, which would really suck. And obviously right now I was doing the math for the amount of health that I was gonna get from Necromancer, the Almond, Soul Splitting, and everything else. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna risk it. Let's just play the safe bet right now. Get health back there. Get health there. Get me back to 30. 2 here. Soul Split up Relentless Templar. Gain back another 5 health, even though technically I didn't need to. Well, I did need to do it at this point, but could have Soul Split it on. No, I had to. At that point, I had to. Obviously, I was just like, I really didn't want to lose Relentless Templar right there, but I was like, I don't think giving my opponent 2 beast creatures, formed creatures, was smart. As I was like, nah, let me not do that. I'll get the health and just rock with it there. So on the left lane and the right lane, we have both ways of actually going ahead and, well, getting rid of those beast form creatures. And then we get hit with Icy Spikes, which luckily he didn't use more of them to actually reduce my health even more, so he actually could get the advantage of actually being able to transform these creatures into beast form. Opponent goes to face. It's 2 off, so that works out for me. He didn't have another Ice Spikes. And then I go ahead and get Bone Colossus. Perfect timing for that. We play that in the left lane to get a full buff up. This is why I said, like, I would like to have 3. It would work out, it'd be kind of fun. I want to have Skeleton Dragon would be kind of fun. There's a lot of cards I need 3 copies of. So here we attack for there. Then I feel confident enough that I'm not gonna attack. No. I know when I'm okay delaying games. As many of you guys have seen my streams before, sometimes I like to be a little chill. I'll delay things out. I know when not to break runes, so I'm just not gonna break your runes. I'm not gonna give you that advantage. Not when you're playing with an intelligence in your attribute. When there's plenty of great prophecies from Shackle to Thunderbolt that really could screw up my whole entire flow. So I was like, you know what? Let's just play the long game. So my opponent is wiping out my field, and my opponent has plenty of cards in their hand, so for me it doesn't look all that great, obviously, right? So over here, hit there, get some health back once again. We play Dragon Cult goes in the right lane as an 8/8, and we'll end our turn once again. I'm not going to hit face. I don't feel like I have enough cards in my hand to start going for a face. It just didn't feel right. So I was like, you know what? Let's just keep playing it like we are right now and see how this goes. And then my opponent finally plays that Storm Arcanaut that he's had this whole entire time, because if you guys remember in the beginning of the match, he was able to get that from the 2-cost creature he played. So this kind of bugged me right now, because I'm just like, it seems like my only move right here is really to get rid of that ward, because if I don't get rid of the ward, we know exactly what's going to happen next turn. If I don't get rid of the ward and hit the tree of the tree miner, whatever the hell that card is called, that gives you one increase in magicka, it's just gonna hit me, keep the freaking storm, the Arcanaut, and I'm gonna be screwed. So I hit there. As much as I didn't want to do it, I felt like I had to do it. Knowing the deck that my opponent is playing, Lightning Bolt would not be enough to kill my creature, and it's a big enough threat that he's going to want to take care of it. Even if he has a silence doesn't work against Dragon Cult Ghosts, so it still wouldn't affect it at all. So just knowing that, unless he wanted to use 2 Lightning Bolts to get rid of it, I felt like that was what my opponent was going to do, and that's what I was saying. Like, I like trying to be predictable when I play these matches. Now, this is where I was getting really happy. Seeing him put the item on, I was like, okay, he's going to go to face, and I want my opponent to go to face because I need cards. If I don't have cards, I'm going to get screwed. Now, I was like, God damn, that's a pretty big regen creature over there in the left lane. You know, that type of dragon will regenerates pretty massive. And I would love to be able to play Little Girl at this point, but it's just not the smart move right here. I can't go ahead and kill it, so I said, you know what, let's break the Ring of Magicka, get 11-11 on the left lane, and be able to take that out. Now, my opponent has a choice. Do you take out Bone Colossus, or do you go to face? Surprisingly enough, my opponent went to face. Cut an ally. All smart moves. He was trying to take care of my Dragon Cult Ghost, but it just didn't really work out at all. So now I get to take out the dragon, and I have more... See, all the stuff, guys, I have more cards in my hand than my opponent. So now the flow of the match has changed. I have more monsters on the field, and I have more cards in my hand than my opponent, and we could work with that. And I got the negotiation in my hand, so I could get a creature back from the graveyard. So Little Girls, obviously, once again, is going to be a target. And unfortunately, with these matches, I wasn't able to show you guys anything with Grim Champion. Can't guarantee you're going to draw the card to show it off. So we get Lord. So this really worked out quite well for me, guys. But once again, I felt this is where I kind of felt bad, because he has that creature at 7/7. If he had it at Night Talon Lord would be at 8/8, and what I'm about to do wouldn't work. So this only worked because of plain and simple fact my opponent didn't have his cards all leveled up. It really just, that's the only way it didn't work, why it didn't work. But you can't predict who you're going to be matched up with. And I like, you know, sometimes it's good for these new players to face players of higher rank anyways, just to see what's possible. If they were playing on the rankings, well, that way they'll be playing people around their ranks.
People are so trusting.
So right there, gain health, hit there, and we get back Ageless Vampire fully. Put that over there. And I don't believe this is where my opponent basically goes ahead and forfeits, because you guys know me, Spy Master. I don't get lucky with packs, but I'm pretty damn lucky with Spy Master. You guys have seen my streaks. Spy Master, I get so lucky with that card, so I'm fairly like doing that. I like keeping Spy Master on, so, and then we have a forfeit. I felt, look. I can't predict what I'm going to get from Spy Master, but I usually get something fairly good. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is Jackie's Grim Champions, the Undead deck. Once again, guys, please be noted, I understand it's not something you want to play with. I like being challenged. I like when you guys ask me to put together a type of deck that I never played with before, and it's actually something fun and cool to showcase. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with more gameplay for Legends. Till then, see you. Thanks you for keep suggesting cool stuff for me to do. Keep letting them come in. Challenges, ideas, I am willing to test things out. We can do it. Till next time, later.